Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Yes. So Trish was still live and she had a guest on tonight. Oftentimes the time like that I put on the show is a like a setting time just to put something because you have to put a time when you make the show. But I think me and Trish are gonna have a talk and try and figure something else out because it worked for a long time, but as both of our shows have gotten very different and got somewhat of a more divided audience, it works, but sometimes doesn't. It just does. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes she's got a longer show she wants to do. Being that it's already so late, it cuts off a lot of people who want to watch over here. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in time. I mean, I don't care when we go live. I could go live at 5 o'clock tonight, which is an hour and 40 minutes away. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, Trish normally doesn't do such super long shows. It's only when she has like a really interesting guest or something. So like 99% of the time, this system works. And we're both very respectful of each other. I try not to jump in on her show. She tries to do the same. If there's going to be an issue, we talk to each other. But yeah, very interesting night. That's why I didn't really, but I thought, hey, people are asking, I'll jump in. I'm not going to start the show just yet, but we'll just sit here and chat for a little bit, so people aren't just staring at a blank screen. And then when she finishes up, we'll start the proper show. So let's have a chat about what happened today in the USA with the tornadoes. So I stayed up till about 5 a.m. and I was watching the radar and the coverage, and I was like, oh, it's still not really fully kicked off. It was waiting to get into this certain area where there was a better environment for the storms, and it was really taking its time. And I was like, I don't know if I want to stay up till 7 a.m. because I'm going to be absolutely exhausted and um I won't be able to do a show for you guys. So it got started a little later than I thought, and they thought, even though there were a few tornadoes in the morning. But by the time it got to about 8, 9 a.m. Australian time, wow, the tornadoes that were on the ground, long track, violent tornadoes. One that was on the ground for I think like an hour and a half, 2 hours. That traveled something like 200 miles or something like that. Just brutal. I think there's like 8 people dead across multiple counties. It breaks my heart to see in 2025 that we're still getting people die in tornadoes. I thought, as a young person interested in weather 10, 15 years ago, that in a decade or two we would have solved this problem. And, the warning times have gotten better, the alerts have gotten better, people get them to their phones, but sometimes when these tornadoes are just so powerful, there's nothing you can do. The one thing I really am against, and I know a lot of Americans will hate this, I'm really against trailer homes. I don't believe if you live in a tornado-prone area that you should ever be allowed to live in a trailer home. They are just the most insecure. They get rolled, they get flipped, they just get obliterated, and a lot of people who die are in trailer homes. I just not a huge fan of. I mean, in other states, like if you live in a state that doesn't have tornadoes, yeah, sure, they're great. Cheap housing, they're often cheap to build. You can buy one for like not a ton of money, provides good cheap housing for people. But when you live in a place that is prone to tornadoes like Mississippi, Alabama, even into like some places, not all of Texas, but some places in Texas, Oklahoma, um, Kansas, and things like that. It just scares me. Every time there's a tornado, like a long track, violent tornado, the first people I think about are people who live in trailer parks, like the trailer homes. They're the first people I think about every time because I've seen the destruction. I've seen the people that get hurt in them, and I just don't think they're a good idea. I think it's hard. You gotta balance the needs of people needing cheap housing, and then you gotta balance the needs of protection, protecting people, and I think it's very hard to do that in trailer homes, You know, i it's very sad. I get really upset over it. They should have a shelter in the middle. I don't think it matters because the trailer home well, they're raised. A lot of them are raised off the ground, and they're like a cylindrical sort of object, and they're wide. They're thin and mostly wide. What ends up happening is the wind hits the side of it and they roll, or they get picked up once the wind gets underneath them, and they get picked up and just obliterated. So there's not a ton of ways unless you could anchor them with some sort of unless there was some rule that said you have to anchor them with no air gap underneath onto a solid foundation, and that's the only way you could have them. I don't know. It's just very sad. Oh, in the park? Yeah, that doesn't help a lot of the time though, because you look at some of the tornadoes that happened last night, they were like 3 a.m. in the morning, and especially in the south, they happen overnight. So what's the chance that you could wake up at 2:30 in the morning, you hear the EAS alarm, it's pitch black outside, tornado's already taken out the power. How do you get your belongings, or an animal, and you get to the center of the park and get into a shelter? It'd be maybe doable, but you might have minutes, maybe 3 minutes. These storms were moving at like 60 miles an hour. 60 miles an hour. That is, they're there and they're gone. They're 2 seconds. They're in, they destroy shit, and they're gone. So, it's very sad. DJ said they're called tie downs. You drill into the ground and tie the straps that are built into the mobile home and attach them. They still just get obliterated. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer, but I can tell you from my visiting the USA during storm season, my coverage. I've followed tornadoes for 20 years now. I can tell you that I just see them everywhere, and they're always the stories you hear about the worst. Not to say you can't die in a home, not to say you can't die in a brick home. You can die in a brick home. EF4 comes onto a brick home, it's gone. But I'm just saying, just a lot of times these trailer park homes just get absolutely obliterated. It's very sad. It makes me very upset. I just don't like seeing people, die needlessly, especially in this type of thing where it could be prevented. Auntie could have survived, grandma could have survived. Often people who are some of our socio and economic lowest on the ladder people, and they're the often ones who die in these type of situations. And I hate it. I just wish there was something we could figure out, or put our brightest minds, which there are. I just wish there was better, I don't know, engineering, something, something we could do to help people. I'd love to see where there was a giant outbreak and they're like, we had 0 deaths. We had no people die. That would be great. We had a storm season in the USA where 0 people died. And I'd be like, that'd be a miracle. I'd love it. You know, Storm chasers got to watch tornadoes all season and nobody lost their lives. That'd be great. Natasha says, you have a really big heart, Ping. Well, yeah, I hope so. Otherwise, I might die. DJ says it knocked me to the floor. What did? Oh, yeah, you were in a tornado. I remember this. DJ says, I was in a tornado in a mobile home. It lifted it up and tried to move it, but the tie downs only allowed it to move a few feet. Do you know what it was? Do you know what the National Weather Service ended up classing it as? Was it like an EF1? I'm guessing it's like an EF1 because an EF1 will probably try and pick it up but couldn't move it. You get like an EF2, EF3, it'll just rip it out of the ground. Guarantee it. Yeah, I'll show you a photo here. Let me bring up this photo and then we'll get on to some more true crime. I got heaps of stories tonight. There was this really, really just awful photo out of Cave City, the one we were talking about last night in Cave City. Where is it? I had it before. Did, I promise. Where's me Cave City photo? There was this just crazy photo out of Cave City. And it showed you like the destruction. They think it might be high end EF3, EF4 maybe. Not that one. I might have to Google it. Hold on. Alright, let me see if I can find this photo. Ah, here it is. Just the most like, you look at it and you just go, "How is this a town? How is this anyone's, where they live?" Yeah, let me boot this up. This is the photo out of Cave City. I mean, this is from Arkansas, so that's what it looks like afterwards. I mean, it looks like something out of a movie. It really does. It just looks like something out of some sort of movie. It's really horrible. It's really, really bad. Hey, Sean, how are you? That's okay. We're just talking tornadoes here. We're just hanging out, talking tornadoes, hanging out here. Let's see. Marylander says my son and daughter went to the basement in Illinois, but nothing happened. Thank goodness. I'm very happy about that. DJ said, "Yeah." Did he say what it says? He don't know the rating. DJ, send me the area in an email. I'll find it. I'll find the rating for it. Yeah. So people don't hear me spit at the microphone. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's the damage path. I think there was a drone footage too over here. I don't know who owns this, unfortunately. They don't say. So whoever owns this, thank you for the footage. Probably a storm chaser or EMS or something. I'm not sure. This is the damage out of Cave City, Arkansas. You can see the track of where the tornado went through, crossed this road here and kept going. It looks bad in some places and not in others. And this is probably from a multi-vortex structure of the tornado. So you get these little vortices that spin around the main circulation. And that's why some homes are sort of okay, and then other ones are just blown apart. Yeah, because you can see back here. I don't know if that's a home that's supposed to be there, or you can see through here how it sort of danced through here, only hit this one and then kept going. Yeah, let's go back to that view. Hey, this guy with the drone, stop moving away. What are you doing? Is that a house that got moved? That looks like a house that got blown off its foundation. This one here on the bottom. I think it is. I think when you see some of these intact properties, they're not actually supposed to be there. I think they got blown off their foundation. Let's see. Yeah, it's just brutal. Again, I don't know whose drone footage this is to say thank you and credit them, but this was out of Cave City. I think this was the one yesterday. EF3, 165 mile per hour winds, the very top of the EF scale, but they're still doing work. They're still trying to figure it out. So they have these damage survey teams that go out from the National Weather Service, and they actually they'll say, "Oh, this brick wall structure should be able to withstand X amount of wind. This, piping got bent. It means it has to be X, Y, and Z." So that's sort of how they do it, and they figure out an EF scale. DJ said, "My neighbor's very well built garage was 100% gone." Yeah, there's some, uh, like I just explained, there's some differences in how things are hit, whether you get hit on a certain side of the tornado, the outskirt of it, the backside. Like there's different stronger points in tornadoes and other places in it. It's just hard to, yeah, you'd have to see the damage track, but it's impressive that your home didn't get rolled. Um, they should make all buildings like that sign. Where is it? Where's that sign? I mean, the sign did not bend. I mean, that pipe may have been there for 80 years or something. It looks very old, and they don't build things like they used to, apparently. That sign just stayed. You may be able to reuse it. If they put a new sign on the top and drill it in, they may be able to reuse that thing. It's crazy. And you see some people's homes, look at this. If they were in this room, they may have survived because this room stayed together, but the rest of their home is just gone. This is why well-constructed, structures are really important. It's very sad to see a child going through their belongings like that. And you see all this, like, it looks like confetti. This is, basically sandblasting from the tornado as it comes through. It just flings debris and, rocks and dirt and whatever else it's picked up and just hammers, onto structures. Wow. What, maybe like off a church or something, like a steeple? Jesus is God? I mean, I don't know how that works. Is he, or is he the son of God? I thought he was the son of God. Yeah, there you go. More of that sandblasting effect that you see on this building. People getting donations or donating items, which is lovely. Thank you to all the people out there donating stuff, helping out, bringing fresh water, clothing, things like that, helping people. What a lovely thing to do. Yeah, devastation. Let me get you some statistics and then we'll get into the true crime. I have some very interesting stories, including a new lead in an episode we're going to get in Cold Justice for season 8. So I found a story that they are going to do this year, and I'm going to show it to you. It's a very old case, very old. So I'm going to show it to you, and we will be able to talk about it when the season comes out. But it is a very well-known cold case. Okay, where's the other thing here? Yeah, let me take you to CNN. Let's go up here. Look at this. A Taco Bell survived. I mean, nothing can take out a Taco Bell. See, they're saying possibly EF4. Survey team finds damage consistent with EF3 in Arkansas in Cave City. Yeah. Top end EF3 though, they're saying. Lot of long track tornadoes today. At least 12 killed in Missouri following severe weather. 3 fatalities in Ozark County. 1 fatality in Butler County. 6 fatalities in Wayne County. 1 fatality in Jefferson, and 1 fatality in St. Louis. Wow, it's so many people. It's too many people. Oh, that's really cool. This family in southern Mississippi. Yeah, so today there was actually a town, it might be this one, yeah, Taylorsville. Taylorsville had more than one tornado hit the town. So they had this storm and it had 2 cells that were like one was in the front, one was in the back of it. And had this really long track tornado on the front, and then it put down a second tornado behind it, and it hit the same town. Those poor people. This lady called Stacy Bryant Hawkins, 59, said she could feel the suction when a likely tornado hit Taylorsville Saturday afternoon. She could feel like the force of the tornado. It's very scary. Um, So she said, I'm very scared of bad weather. We've been in our home for 23 years, and that's why I insisted on a safe room being built. Very smart lady. Very smart lady. Well done. Her family had spent the last few hours in and out of their safe room on the first floor of their home because Smith County gets a lot of tornadoes. The family decided to create the storm room in their home. Yep, you can buy specialized safe rooms now for tornadoes, and they sort of put them in the middle of the home, so you have many walls between you and the outside. And I think they get rated up to like an EF4. I think there's nothing that can withstand an EF5, but I think they get rated up to an EF4. Maybe now they've got one that does an EF5, but I know before it was like you could get EF3, EF4, and they're more expensive. But yeah, you can get them now. More than 23,600 homes and businesses without power across Missouri, Michigan, Mississippi, Texas, and Illinois. So a lot of people without power. There's a car that got rolled, and still tornado watches throughout the night, all the way from Baton Rouge and then into eastern Tennessee. So you up into even into east of Nashville, getting a lot of tornado watch tonight. Today has already seen more tornado warnings than any other day since last year. So if this is the way storm season is gonna go, it is gonna be a bonkers day, a bonkers year. It says here, severe dust storm leaves 8 people dead in Kansas following 50 vehicle crash. A 50 vehicle crash. Wow. 8 people dead in that just one incident. I know DJ was sending me a whole bunch of stuff about dust storms that were happening in Texas and Oklahoma and apparently now Kansas. Death toll climbs to at least 31, with deaths reported in Mississippi and Oklahoma. Pretty sure that is now 40. I saw a estimate that there's 40 people being killed over this event. So 40 people. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Death toll rises to 33. That was a couple of hours ago. Pretty sure I saw that it's now 40. So a lot of people unfortunately died today, unfortunately. Don't want to hear that. Um, we're looking We're looking at, the big ones today were Arkansas and Mississippi, but yesterday and the day before, I mean, it was Illinois, some of Kentucky too, and then Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi. So it's all that deep, deep south. Sean. It could be, it could be. Gail said that's where we were. I was just gonna ask about safe rooms. Yeah, safe rooms are a great idea if you can afford it. Not everyone can afford it. They're expensive. They add a lot of money to your, build, or if you wanna retrofit it into your home, it's not cheap. It's quite a lot of money. I don't think you're talking about, like, a couple of $1,000. I think you're talking more like 15,000, 25,000. It's a lot of money, but hey, might save your life, might save the life of you and your family. I think it's a good investment. Woman of Steel says, "Hello, everyone. Not a good day for the South. It is not a very bad day out of the South." I was just looking at the SPC. Hold on, SPC. I was just looking at them, seeing what was the update out of there. If we go to storm reports, and I'll show you where most of the activity today was. So as you can see, these red dots are where all the tornadoes were located. So you see that big grouping here. That is the ones that happened mostly throughout today. A couple up here near the Tri-Point area, Tri-State area, and then a whole bunch that happened a little further along a bit later in the day. So 23 now confirmed tornadoes. Not confirmed. They have to go out and do the damage survey, but 23 reported. You got a whole heap out of Mississippi, Alabama. Alabama was pretty active. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 reports of tornadoes in Alabama, but Mississippi really copped it. These are all might be the same. This is in Walthall, so this might be the same tornado. Got reported for 3 different people, maybe. And then Smith County that got a couple of reports. So probably 1, 2, maybe 3. Maybe it seems like it should be more than that. It probably got yeah, so it probably traveled. It looks like it was on the ground here, maybe lifted, and then put down a new tornado here. This is what tends to happen. So it'll put down like a smaller tornado, could be like an EF2 or something. It'll lift, it'll cycle, and then it'll put down another tornado. This is pretty common. They used to call this like they used to call it something else, but now they call it like a family of tornadoes, and it's from the same supercell. They used to think they were like individual sort of uh, supercells, but now they just think it's the one tornado that's lifted, it recycles, puts down another one. What we call a cyclet supercell. So it cycles, puts down another one, and continues. So a lot of reports out of Mississippi, Alabama. Uh, did Tuscaloosa get one? It did, but nothing crazy. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Thank the Lord we didn't get something like 2011. Thank the Lord. Yeah, it looks like mostly just trees down in Alabama. Several reports of damage near I-65, near Calera, and Alabama in Dallas, Alabama in Plantersville. Extensive damage in Plantersville. Okay, well, that's not good. And extensive damage reported on US 82 near Maplesville. TDS observed on radar. So that's a tornado debris signature. So what they mean by that is there is a tool that you can use. It's called CC, correlation coefficient. And you can see on the radar objects in the atmosphere which are not like rain, hail, things that should be there. So rain, anything a thunderstorm normally does. And what it picks up is objects that are irregular and things like debris, could be things like trees, branches, that type of thing. Anything the tornado could pick up. And they can actually see where the tornado starts to disperse damage across the area from this correlation coefficient. And it's used to try and you have to be pretty close to the radar. It doesn't work. You get like 200 miles out from the radar. It doesn't work as well because as a radar goes out, it goes up. So you can only see it if it really lofted it really high in the atmosphere. The closer you get to the radar is better because you can see lower into that storm. So you can see more of that debris signature. So there you go. There's your tornado reports out of today. I know I'm boring everyone. I know. Jonna says, hi everyone, how are you? Good to see you all. Good to see you all. I think everyone's here now. Did Trish finish? Is she done? I can't get out of my stream, so normally I can go back and see if she's finished. Is she all done with her guest? I can't remember who she had on, but she had someone interesting. So someone let me know in the chat and then I will get underway. I will stop with the tornado talk. She's finished? Okay. All right. We can move on. There you go. There's your update out of the high risk day. First one in I think for this area, the first one since 2020 or 2021. So it's been a number of years since this particular area had a high risk day. Now, was it as bad as it could be? No. No, not at all. No, it could have been way worse. I was actually thinking this was going to be like 45, 50, maybe 80 tornadoes in one day, which has happened before. 25 is actually pretty small for a high risk day. But we did have a couple of long track tornadoes that happened. So that's what they were reporting. They were reporting long track violent tornadoes, and that is what we got, including this giant one I saw on Fox Weather. Brandon Kopic, who I actually know Brandon, he had this giant tornado on his screen. It was just this giant wedge tornado. One of the most impressive ones I saw today anyway. Let me see if I can find it for you, Brandon. Yeah, right here. This should be it. Yeah, 8 hours ago. Yeah. Let me download this. This is what everyone saw from Brandon earlier today. By the way, Brandon's a really nice guy. Known him for like, I don't know, over a decade. He's a really, really good guy. A lot of the people in storm chasing are good people. They love their jobs and happy to see him on Fox Weather these days. Is it a GIF? Hold on, guys. No, that's not it. All right, give me a sec. What is going on? Okay. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I hate this new freaking file format that all the photos are in now. It's called AVF. Instead of using JPEG, it's all in AVF file format now. So anytime you see a photo, you can't just download them anymore. It's a real pain in the bum. Here we go. This is the view that Brandon had earlier today. So this is from Brandon Kopic's live stream earlier, about 8 hours ago. And this absolute beast of a tornado, that thing is huge. So today actually had a lot of problems, like I told you yesterday. Out in Missouri, Arkansas, all those type of places, it's really hard to storm chase because as you can see here, all this tree line is obscuring the view of the circulation and the tornado, sometimes making it very hard, especially if you have a very low wall cloud that's really close to the ground and you can't see that circulation. It makes it very difficult, and you won't see the tornado till it's about 50 feet away from you and it's almost over your head that you'll be able to confirm that there's a tornado there. It's one of the places that a lot of people don't like storm chasing in because it's one, the storms are known to move very quickly. Like we saw today, I think 50 miles per hour, 60 miles per hour in some places. And the high tree line makes it extremely difficult to see the storms. So people don't really like chasing out there. Unfortunately, it's one of the most active places earlier in the year for tornadoes down in this south area of the USA. But when you get back west and you get into the traditional tornado alley, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, even Nebraska, even Colorado, and then even Missouri a little bit, depending on what side you're on. It's much easier to see because the land is flat. So you can see 100 miles away and you can see where the storm is coming and you can already tell if it's got a tornado or what it's up to. They get the helicopters up. So if you've ever watched storm coverage out of Oklahoma, you get the cool helicopter guys that go up out of the news channel, and they go up in the helicopters and they chase the tornadoes. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I think it's a great USA invention, chasing tornadoes with helicopters. I think it's a it's fantastic. I think it's those pilots are very, very brave to do that. I remember, do you guys want to hear a little story before we go into true crime? There was an EF5 tornado that went through Oklahoma about 13 years ago, and the guy in the helicopter was following the tornado. And he kept saying, "Oh, I'm getting pulled in to the tornado." And he's like, "I'm gonna have to fly back the other way," because he goes, "As I hover here, I'm getting brought into the circulation." He's like, "It's so strong, it's taking my helicopter with it, even though the helicopter is trying to keep it level." He kept going, "Oh, I'm getting pulled into the tornado," and I was like, "Wow, how powerful is this thing that it's pulling along a helicopter with it?" And luckily he flew back the other way and he was okay, but he just kept getting brought into the circulation. Uh, it sounds dangerous. I don't think anyone's ever died. I think more people have died in vehicles from chasing tornadoes than helicopters. Gail said I would need to wear adult pull-ups. Have you guys never seen the coverage out of Oklahoma? This storm season, check out K4 TV in Oklahoma, and there's another one. Is it Channel 9 out of OK9 or something? Those two both do helicopter chasing of tornadoes. Very, very cool. Actually, I'll show you one screenshot, then we're going to do true crime. Tornado helicopter. Yeah, so this was back in maybe like 2013, if I can find it. Oklahoma, was it this one? Look, I don't know which one. This might be. I can't remember, but anyway, it might be this one. So this is a screenshot from them in a helicopter chasing a tornado. I can't remember which one this is, but you can see it's quite stout tornado. And this is their view when they're in the helicopter and they chase these tornadoes. But I remember they chased that big one, the EF5. EF5? My memory's a little bad, but there was two back to back. There was one early in May, and then there was another one later in May, and they were only weeks apart from each other, and they chased both of those until they dissipated and lifted. But I love that. So much fun. DJ says I've never been in a helicopter. Never? Really? It is pretty cool. Yeah, so if you've never seen it, maybe during storm season I will show you some of the helicopter footage because I think those guys out of Oklahoma are amazing. I can't believe that they do this for a living. It's really cool. Yeah, is this the other one? Let's have a look. Yeah, this might be the really big one. It's a very old screenshot. It's very a bit hard to see, a bit pixelated. But there you go, Sky News 9. And they were chasing this giant wedge tornado out of Oklahoma many, many years ago. And that's their view from the helicopter. So, yeah, pretty cool. I think you get the best view, but a lot of people have drones nowadays. A lot of people have the drones and they put the drone up and not as good as the helicopter, but yeah, it's pretty cool. If you didn't know they did that, they do. All right, let's get on to true crime for this Saturday night. Just remember, pray for all the people out in these states, Oklahoma, not Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, out in Illinois. I know Illinois had some pretty big ones. Even Tennessee. Tennessee's got a risk of flooding tonight, so a lot of floods up in TN, and I think a possible tornado risk as well. So if you're out in Tennessee, try and be safe out there, and yeah, just thinking there's a lot of people suffering out there tonight. Okay. All right. So let me take you to Cold Justice. So I did some research today and I learned that there is an episode coming up for season 8 and it's going to involve a very old cold case. And it is this lady here called Joan Bernal. And she's been missing for since 1988. 1988. It is a very, very old case, but her family has never given up hope of finding her or putting someone, responsible behind bars. And this one is going to be a episode in season 8. Her family has been posting on Facebook recently saying that they filmed an episode with Cold Justice for this current season. Now, I'll take you to the sheriff's office and I'll take you to her page. Yeah, let's go to Will County. So they're out of Will County. If I can get to this, why can't I get to this particular? Okay, fine. So this is their Facebook page. It's called Help Us Find Joan Bernal, I think, Nee Yarbrough. So I think that might be her. I don't know if that's her maiden name or her married name. I'm not sure how they've done this. Sometimes when people are murdered by a husband or something, sometimes they remove the last name, the married name, and give them back their maiden name because they don't want to give the murderer any satisfaction. So I don't know if that's what's happened here or that's her maiden name, but either way. So as you can see here, this is star of the show, star of Cold Justice. You can see her there speaking with the sheriff. You can see them getting wired up, mic'd up for the episode. There you go, doing the introduction, and they brought back a this lady was in some very early episodes, I think, of Cold Justice from seasons 1, 2, and 3, but when it was on TNT. So that's really cool that they're bringing her back for season 8. I think she's a bit of a fan favorite. And there you go. You can see them meeting Kelly, which I think is awesome. And so this will be a case for the new season, season 8. So I think it's going to be a very good season for this show. I can't wait. We're going to cover it every Saturday. So tonight, when it airs, tonight will be a recap episode like we did last year. We'll be doing a recap of Cold Justice. So let me actually show you what the details are behind this particular case so we can all get acquainted with it, and then when the episode airs, we'll know a little bit more and we'll know what they're talking about, and then we'll all be caught up. So let me load this. If it will load. All right, here we go. Let me find. So we had a video from a news station, and I want to show that to you. Hold on. Why won't that let us? Okay, I don't know why it won't let us use that video. It just won't transfer. Okay, fine. We'll use this one. No video, but we can have a look at the article. So they're saying here, Joan was a driver for the Joliet Mass Transit District. She was born in Oak Park and grew up in Hickory Hills, graduating from Stagg. And there's a photo, a family photo of her. I'm guessing that's her husband and a child. They say today marked 36 years since Joan, 34, of Joliet, Zali Road, vanished without a trace. They say the Will County Sheriff's detectives are working with Cold Justice to air a 1-hour cable TV show about the case next May. Next May. There's a little hint as to when we're going to get a new season of Cold Justice. I have a feeling it might start late April or early April, which I'm a bit pissed off about. I was hoping to get it in this month. I was hoping to get it for March, but it sounds like we might be waiting till just before the summer to get it, which is a little frustrating. We've been waiting for over a year. The last one happened in January 2024. So we've been waiting a long time. They're saying here, Joan was apparently slain inside her home in the Preston Heights area of Joliet, Far East Side, and her body has never been found. Despite the passage of time, the Will County Sheriff's Office said the disappearance of Joan remains one of the highest priorities for their agency's cold case unit. They said the 1-hour show on the crime is expected to air around May. They say Joan was a driver for the Joliet Mass Transit System. She was born in Oak Park, grew up in Hickory Hills, and she graduated high school in 1972. They said it's basically a documentary. We got followed around by a camera crew for about 10 days. So they're saying it was a 10-day filming for it. They said Ernest and Freeman disclosed that their prime suspect surrounding the murder of Joan remains her former husband, Gilbert Bernal. At the time of her disappearance, the family lived on Zali Road. So that seems seems about right. The husband. They say these days Gil is in his early 80s and living in Flint, Michigan. In October, during the filming for Cold Justice show, Ernest said he traveled to Michigan to interview Gil, and they said, I talked with him for about 2 hours. Ernest said that Gil has denied being responsible for his wife's disappearance and slaying, and has continued to insist that his wife went on an out-of-state bus trip and never returned. Did she not have her purse? Did she leave her purse at home for some reason? According to a detailed summary by the Doe Network, Joan was supposed to join her husband on a trip to Edinburgh, Texas. Police investigators said they believe that Gil killed his wife on December 9th, 1988, after quarreling about taking her children on the planned trip to Texas. Bernal said he gave his wife $1,500 before she boarded a Joliet-bound bus in McAlester, Oklahoma. Authorities have said in the past, but investigators found she never took that trip. In 1993, Gil was charged with Joan's murder, even though there was no body. There's a photo of her with her child. They said then, after taking over as the new Will County State Attorney, James Glasgow had the murder charges against Gil dropped in 1994 based on a criminal defense lawyer's contention that he produced 4 different people who have claimed to have seen Joan still alive. They said it never went to trial. Officially, there were a few witnesses who supposedly knew Gil and said they saw Joan alive. I've heard that these people, under questioning for this particular TV show, have now recanted their statements about seeing her alive. So that now brings their alibi into question of whether she was ever seen alive outside of the home. So that may be very detrimental to Gil. Oh, is that Edinburgh or Edinburgh? Edinburgh? Yeah, Edinburgh. Say it in the Australian way, Ping. Is it the same pronunciation? Could be. Wait, where is it? Let me go back here. Wait, where was it? Up here? When she went to... It doesn't matter. We're just going to keep going. I can mispronounce every word and we'll deal with it later. They said Freeman and Ernest pointed out that their agency has re-interviewed a number of those witnesses and some of them have recanted their statements. There you go. Suggesting that Joan was alive. They say Joan's DNA has been entered into the National Criminal Database, but so far there have been no matches. They say based on extensive investigations done so far, Freeman said he does not believe Joan was buried at the family home on Zarley Road. He says, it could be down there or up here. It's all on the table for sure. It's possible she could be in Texas and Mexico. Gil has family near Texas and Mexico, and he did make a lot of trips to family in Texas. So her body could be out of the state by now, and he could have taken her out of the area. They said the Patch, which is the newspaper, asked Freeman and Ernest if they were optimistic that Glasgow and his team of prosecutors would revive the first-degree murder case and charge Gil in 2025, even though the suspect is now in his 80s. They said, obviously, we're pressing with everything we do, and that's obviously our goal, I think. It is a good case, especially with what they've done updating and re-interviewing and finding more people. He has a whole history of domestic abuse, so it is well within his background. The family is happy it's being looked at, and her story is getting out. If you have any information about Joan's disappearance, you can call Ernest at the Will County Sheriff's Office at 815 727 8574. So there's some photos of her when she was younger, and you can see these different photos of what she may have looked like, different type of side view when she was this looks like when she was a little bit younger. These look like when she was a little bit older. Same with this one. This one looks like when she may have been a little younger too, maybe in her 20s or something. This one looks like when she might have been a teenager. They said she's described as a white female, 5'3", 120 pounds, long brown hair, hazel eyes, blue jeans, a light blue pull-over long-sleeve shirt, a light blue knee-length coat, and white tennis shoes. They say circumstances: prime suspect husband Gilbert Bernal is allegedly killed at her residence in Joliet. Dropped off the children and drove to Texas. He was charged in her murder, then later dropped as a witness claimed a sighting of Joan. She has never been found. How can you take those witnesses seriously when they had a connection to the supposed person of interest? How can you do that? Oh, there you go, DJ. Whoa, contention about spelling and pronunciation. Fight, DJ and Gala. You'll have to put it to a death match. Texas versus Scotland. Gala says, no way, DJ, you can't murder our words. I think in Texas they can do whatever they want. Isn't it the state motto? Isn't it the state motto in Texas? We can do whatever we want. I think that was the official thing. Where is her son? Wasn't she well, apparently the kids were taken to Texas, but they're probably I think they're grown up now. I think those children have grown up. If we go to the Facebook page, I see family members here. I don't know who these people exactly are in the family, but you see a lot of grandchildren and grandchildren, like a couple of generations. these are probably the children. They're probably grown up now. They're probably older people. I mean, it was, decades ago. So I'm guessing these are the kids. So they've still got great families. Look how many little kiddies they got. And it looks like they're even though they probably miss their mom, they're trying to do the best thing they can by getting her on the TV show is amazing. You saw what happened with the case last year, right? This cold case that everyone was like, "Oh, it's too hard. It'll never be solved." And they broke it on the show, and that was Kimberly Langwell. So if anyone is to get hope by being on Cold Justice, I think this family should be excited, not not promising anything, but they should be excited that they're gonna investigate. I mean, the Kimberly Langwell one was amazing. That Terry Rose was eventually charged, and they found her body within weeks of being on the episode was like TV miracle, TV magic. And it was part of the great work that Cold Justice and the police departments come together and they add more manpower. So that's what Cold Justice does. Yes, they make a TV show. Yes, it's about their ratings, but they also add a lot of manpower to departments that are often lacking in manpower. So they add a team of people and researchers, and they pay for things like testing, and they really help out, and they end up getting cases like Kimberly's solved, which is one of the most crazy cases I've ever heard of. Um, Still going through the court, I think. Still waiting on that. Da, 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 da. Let me take you back, right back to last year when this happened, because this is one of my favorite things that has ever happened. I'm so happy they found her and her daughter. I mean, so happy she gets to find out what happened to her mum. Actually, here's her daughter speaking about the discovery, actually.
News reporter Clayton Rhodes spoke with Langwell's daughter today, who was 15 years old when she had to report her mother missing. She joins us in studio tonight. And Clayton, yesterday's discovery is bittersweet for this family.
That's right, Brenda. Jordan, Tiffany McInnes has waited 25 years for answers in her mother's disappearance. And after yesterday's discovery and arrest, she's one step closer to closure.
It's a long time coming, and I'm so very grateful to have my mother back. Not in the way that I wanted her, but to know that she's no longer being held is a good feeling.
Tiffany McInnes has waited for answers in her mother's disappearance for 25 years. She was only 15 years old when she reported her 34-year-old mother, Kimberly Langwell, missing on July 9th of 1999. McInnes contacted police after Langwell never showed up for dinner plans they had made that night.
I've known that since the day that she was gone. She's been there, so it's tough. It's tough to know where your mom is and know that there's nothing you can do.
According to a probable cause affidavit in April of 2024, a reliable informant told police that Langwell's ex-boyfriend, 67-year-old Terry Rose, admitted that she was murdered inside his home the same day she went missing. He
was mad that that Kimberly had basically left him. She did lie to him, but it's probably because he was a controlling asshole. She went to on a trip to Mexico. He thought it was a girls' trip, like she was going on a trip with females, but she took her new boyfriend there for a bit of a hot and sweaty weekend. And when she came back and he found out, they believed that's when he killed her. That he killed her because she had used his money that he gave her for a girls' trip, but instead went there with her new sexual partner, and it wasn't him. So, being the controlling dickhead that he is, he killed her. He killed her over it, and then buried her body on his property. Been there for years. No one ever looked. No one really ever, you know. They just went, oh, she went missing. Oh, who knows where she is? What about that ex-boyfriend? Nah, can't be him. Why would he do it? And it was there the whole freaking time. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, no, no. She was found. He used to own a tow trucking business, and I think that's where they found the body, or they found it at his home. He had 2 properties. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. But yeah, they did ground penetrating radar, and they found where they might have found her. Here, I'll talk about it here. It was right here. You can see all the cops and all the work of they're smashing up all the concrete and that. It was right here. So that looks like his home. All right, I'll talk about it here.
On his property. For 4 days, BPD and multiple agencies searched his home and record business on Lindbergh. And with the help of Texas EquiSearch, they made a break in the case on Thursday.
The human remains were discovered during the search. The identity of the remains are being confirmed at this time. However, we believe they are the remains of Kimberly Langwell.
During a press conference on Friday, BPD Chief Jimmy Singletary thanked the FBI, ATF, and Texas EquiSearch for helping solve Langwell's disappearance. He also highlighted the detectives who have been on the case for decades.
For our 3 detectives that we are so very, very proud of. They stayed with this from the beginning.
For McInnes, Rose's arrest confirmed what she already feared.
Well, I don't believe that we will ever know truly what happened besides what the evidence is going to show. But I've always known that she's there.
The remains.
She looks so much like her mum. She just looks like a clone of her mum, and she's about at the age that her mum was when she went missing. I think a few years difference, but not by much. And she looks like a spitting image of her. Really, she looks like a clone. Every time I see her, I go, "Wow, she looks identical to her mum." I'm so happy for her. She was so devastated on Cold Justice to not know where her mum was. To hear her cry all through that episode about missing her mum through her teenage years, not being able to have she had her mum's sister who raised her, but it's not the same, it's not your mum. So she did have a great female in her life that could be a surrogate, but it's still not her mother. And she talked about how she went through a difficult time in her teenage years, and she just didn't have her mum there to lean on. So it was so I'm very happy for her, very happy for Tiffany. Kaliza said she and her mum are both beautiful. I know, right? What a lovely southern-looking lady. They all have that sort of look. It's we need more women exported to Australia, please. Please, we need them to mingle with the great Australian genes. We need half. That'd be great because they're all so pretty. But yeah, it's so great to have her finally know what happened to her mum. It's one of the greatest episodes in Cold Justice, if you ask me. It really is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was 1999. So that's a pretty old case. This one is 10 years earlier or 11 years earlier, 1988. So they've got a bit of a hard slog ahead of them, and I think it's going to be a really interesting episode. Anytime we can work on a cold case and try bring something to closure all these years later, that's why I love that show. And I know a lot of people don't like the host and they hate her from the trials in Texas, but I really do believe that she tries to do the best she can. And the fact she's dedicated her life to trying to solve cold cases now after leaving the DA's office, I think tells you a lot you need to know about Kelly. I think she's a very tough lady, but I think she's genuine in what she wants to do. And that's why I like her. I like Kelly. I've tried to reach out to her a couple of times to see if she'd come on our after show that we do every year for Cold Justice, but so far no luck. So far no luck getting Kelly to come and drop by and talk to us, which would have been cool, but she's a very busy lady. She's a very busy woman. Yes, they are. Marilyn says, I liked America's Most Wanted with Robert Stack years ago. Was he the guy who did Unsolved Mysteries? Was that the same guy? Who did Unsolved Mysteries? Wasn't his name Robert as well? Hold on. No, who was the original host for that? Was that, yeah, Robert Stack? Yeah, it was. No, the original host was Raymond Burr. But the weekly program that started in 1988 was hosted by Robert Stack, which everyone knows him from Unsolved Mysteries. Everyone. He is everyone's childhood. I think I've told this story before about when I was growing up, my grandmother loved Unsolved Mysteries. Loved it. And every Saturday night we would, if I was at my grandmother's house, we would sit down and she'd make me watch Unsolved Mysteries because she knew I loved mysteries in the world. Like I used to read all those books about Bigfoot and UFOs and whirlpools and tornadoes and things like that. And she knew it and she's like, "Oh, I love Unsolved Mysteries." She's like, "You love this show." And so she used to sit me down every Saturday night and we watch Unsolved Mysteries every week. And we did that for many, many years. And so that's where my love of this particular program, and I think even in my older years, I've gone back and watched them several times. So it was a great show, great show. Marylander says, maybe I meant Unsolved Mysteries. I don't think he was on America's Most Wanted. I think America's Most Wanted has always been, oh God, I got a mental blank about his name. He's the guy who had the son Adam that went missing and was murdered. God, I think we've spoken about him like a million times on this show. Hold on. Who? Oh yeah, John Walsh. John Walsh. I think John Walsh has always been the host of America's Most Wanted. I think it's always been him. That's right, it's Walsh. And I love John Walsh. I think he's a great host. But I wish he'd bring back his other TV show, the one he was doing during the pandemic. I don't think they've ever redone it. Don't think they brought out a new version of it. And he was doing it with his son Callahan. But I don't think they ever produced. And he's been doing America's Most Wanted, and they didn't do a season this year, did they? There was no, because last year in 2024, they did a season of America's Most Wanted in January, but I don't think we got one in 2025. Let's see. Does it say if it's returning? Yeah, it sounds like they did one last year, but I don't know if they produced another one. I'm just trying to see if what's the other show he did? No, that's not it. Did he do another show called like Disappeared or something like that? And he did it with his son and it was on Investigation Discovery? Something like that. It was about missing people. Can't remember what that show was called now. But it was a really good one. I really liked it. Oh, In Pursuit. In Pursuit, he did, which I really liked. I thought In Pursuit was a great show, but it looks like that has now been finished. Yeah, it sounds like they're not going to do any more of that, which is annoying because I thought that was a good show, but I think it's over. I don't think they're doing any more. Sounds like the last episode was, when was it? When did they did season 5? Oh no, they did one in May last year. Okay. I probably watched it or I probably didn't. I can't remember. I've watched so many true crime documentaries. I must watch at least 1,000 every year. At least 1,000. I can't remember if we did. Oh, his son had his own show. I didn't know that. Callahan did. Huh. Maybe it was Callahan's show. the other one, the one I'm talking about, disappeared. Let me see what it says on his Internet Movie Database. It says here on Callahan Walsh. It says that he's only been on in maybe it was this one, In Pursuit, The Missing. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. That Callahan Walsh investigates 2 cases of missing women from Florida. That was a pretty good one. I like that with him. And then he's been in Pursuit with his dad, America's Most Wanted. So, yeah. Yeah, I quite like. I think Callahan did that crazy story that we spoke about last year. That one with that guy that was victimizing kids online, and it was the most crazy story. And then he went missing, and they haven't been able to track him down. I think that was one of the stories from last year. It didn't get good ratings. That's a shame. I thought it was good. Juicy Jill says Kenda Cop here in Colorado Springs. I like Kenda. You know, I'm still disappointed. The year I got to watch, and I got someone bought me tickets to CrimeCon online when I worked at WebSource. They bought me a digital ticket to go to CrimeCon, and Kenda was on the list of people to speak at CrimeCon, and I was so excited because I love Joe Kenda. And he bailed. He couldn't come. He had a medical issue that didn't allow him to fly, which means I think he had the COVID. So he wasn't able to do CrimeCon, which I'm so pissed about because I really wanted to see him talk because he's a great cop. Jonna says there was one I really liked. He was really good, but I can't remember his name. Yeah, Joe Kenda's great. I love Joe Kenda. One of my favorites. You know, he goes, well, well, well. And you always go, he knows who did it. And you're always like, tell us who did it, Joe. He's a really good TV host, and seems like he was a really good cop too. The amount of cases he cleared, didn't he have something like a 95% clearance rate of homicide investigations? That's unheard of. Like, that's so high. That's really, really good. Even your dad watches him. I think a lot of men like Joe Kenda because he's very steely, very resolute, you know, very John Wayne-esque. You know, he's got that look to him. Jonna says, yeah, I like him. Your husband liked Joe Kenda? I think all men like Joe Kenda. Shame that he retired from his show, though. But he is getting a little older now. Which is a shame. Because I know he's getting a little on in the years, which is sad because I think he's fantastic. I don't think has anyone seen the movie he made called Handsome, a Netflix mystery movie? I don't think I've ever watched that. I don't think I would. It sounds like something that is a drama. But I'm more a fan of Homicide Hunter than I am American Detective. I think the Homicide Hunter was the original one, right? It's the one that is that the one? Yeah. American Detective came second, which is not him really doing it. It's sort of like him narrating it. That's not really my favorite, I don't think. I like the one where it's from his time as being a cop. Those ones are way better. The ones where he's sort of telling stories about other police, I don't really like that one. That's not my favorite. I don't enjoy that one. You listen to a podcast with Joe? I'd love to have Joe on this channel. That'd be great. Gayla says, sounds more like Scooby-Doo, not Joe. Does. Moonlight View, how far behind are you that you're now talking about John Walsh? I think she might be a little far behind. Yeah, Joe Kenda, I love him. But yeah, don't like the one that, yeah, he has other police tell their stories and he just sort of comments on it. Yeah, not a fan. Homicide Hunter, though, freaking fantastic. Especially he did a bunch of one-off episodes that he did I think it was over sort of the pandemic. He did like 3 or 4 standalone movie type episodes. Those are really, really, really good if you can find them to watch them if you haven't already. They are just severely well done and yeah, just amazing. Is it this one here? It is this one. It's the season 10, but it's not really season 10 because like one episode got released every so often. Yeah, Never Give Up, Devil in the Mountains, and The Man with No Face. These 3 are just prime Joe Kenda. They are some of his most amazing work with this series. The other one that's really good if you have never watched it is this episode down here, The End. If you've never watched it, if you've watched every other season and you never got to the final episode in season 9, it's such a softer side of Kenda, and you hear him talk with his wife, and his wife's on the show, and you hear them sort of talk about his life as being a detective, and it was a really nice way to wrap up the original season, and it was really interesting to see such a softer side of him with his wife and how she dealt with him being a cop. Like she literally said to him, "If you don't quit, you're gonna, you're going to take your service pistol and do X, Y, and Z. Like you can't do this anymore." And she was the one that convinced him to walk out of because he almost killed a guy in an interview too. He says he almost killed a PDF file that he had an interview with. The PDF file said, "Oh, the little girl came on to me." And apparently Joe almost beat the absolute living crap out of him in the interview room. And he had already started spiraling around that time. And then he knew he had to go. And his wife even said, like, I told him that you have to leave because the cases were starting to consume him, and they were starting to take over his mind and mentality and things like that. And it was a real honest look of working in homicide, and I thought it was one of his most vulnerable moments on the entire show. So if you've never watched that one, I think it's a really good one to watch, and it gives you a greater understanding of who Joe is and what were his motivations in eventually leaving to be leaving the department. I think and there's probably a lot of detectives that go through this because they have to deal with these crimes day in and day out. So it's probably a little insight into what a lot of detectives go through and have to live with. The demons, the victims that talk to you in your sleep and in your dreams because you can still see them. I'm sure that happens to a lot. Or sounds like PTSD. Probably happens to a lot of detectives. We got another confession, yeah. It's this episode here. It's season 9, episode 20. It's called The End, and it's from Homicide Hunter. So it's Homicide Hunter season 9, episode 20. So if you can find it, it is one of the best episodes out of all 9 seasons. Very, very good ending. There's not many shows that have a great ending, and you're like, oh my God, that was a great ending. A lot of them are terrible. The Cougar Town ending was terrible. I hated that. There was The Big Bang Theory. They actually did pretty well with that, with the ending to that, even though I was very sad that it ended. A bunch of others have done poorly. It's hard when you get a great ending, and this one is especially in true crime, one of the best. So, yeah, he cared. I think, especially at the time, he's got his children. I think he said they were grown up. By the time he was quitting the force, they had grown up. But a lot of the child cases he was getting were really affecting him because it would bring him back to when his kids were little, and it was he just hated these people so much what they were doing to children that he just couldn't handle it. 78 now, 78, Mr. Joe Kenda. He's almost 80. We should have a Joe Kenda dress-up day for his 80th birthday. We should all go to CrimeCon dressed up as Joe Kenda when he turns 80. I think that would be 1, hilarious, and 2, a lot of fun. And 3, if we can find Joe, I don't know if he'd know what was going on, but I think we could give him a birthday cake and say happy 80th. I think that that would be very interesting. All right, let's go to another case. So people keep emailing me and they keep asking me to talk about the ghost hunter, the ghost adventure guy, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So tonight we're going to talk about it because what the hell? If you guys haven't heard this, Aaron from Ghost Adventures, his wife or partner, this woman, tried to murder for hire him. She tried to set it up with the inmate to kill him. This woman who he loved very much, he had no idea. She was talking with an inmate and preparing to pay him a lot of money to make sure Aaron wound up dead. I think that is disgusting, and we're going to talk about it in a second. Yes, Aaron Goodwin. I feel so sad for him because I think he's had a bit of a rough trot compared to some of his co-stars with Love, and I think he's had a bit of a hard time. Let me try and grab something from an actual place I can use it for. Yeah, here, let's go to NBC News. Okay, I've never seen that message before. It said this video has expired. It happened like a day ago. How does a video expire? Sorry guys, give me a sec. What the hell? That doesn't make any sense. Let's go to Fox 35 Orlando, maybe?
But we start tonight with a wild twist of a story we've been covering for years. A man convicted for killing his own family in Central Florida.
No, that's not it.
Now being connected with a...
That's a different one. All right. We're just going to have to talk about it. I can't find one. Anyway, it says reality TV star Aaron Goodwin's wife, Victoria, was arrested for allegedly plotting his murder with convicted family killer Grant Amato. They're saying authorities say she offered $11,000 for the hit, but she claims the money was for cell phones. What? Who cares if it was for a cell phone or a giant butt plug? You're still trying to kill your husband. I don't care if it was, what are you doing? They're saying Aaron Goodwin says he was blindsided by the alleged plot, believing they had a happy marriage. That's very, very sad. What an absolute bitch. They're saying Amato could benefit from cooperating in the investigation, according to attorneys. They say what we know. They say while Grant Amato sat inside a Florida prison serving time for the murders of his parents and adult brother, authorities said he was contacted by Victoria, wife of Ghost Adventures star Aaron Goodwin. Investigators said she solicited Amato in a murder for hire plot to kill her husband. There's a photo of the both of them there. According to court documents, Amato was texting and Facebook messaging Goodwin. The two allegedly messaged about being in love, and Goodwin allegedly told Amato her husband wouldn't accept divorce. And she says here, am I a bad person because I chose to end his existence and not divorce? Yes, the answer to that question is yes, 100% yes. You are a giant bitch, basically. They say investigators say Goodwin set aside the money to pay for her husband to be killed, and messages recovered from Amato's cell phone allegedly show him texting another man, arranging for Goodwin's husband to be killed. Goodwin allegedly offered over $11,000 for the killing. They say Goodwin was arrested on March 6 in Nevada on charges of soliciting to commit murder and conspiracy to commit murder. She was jailed on a $100,000 bond. They say what we don't know. They say Victoria Goodwin denies the allegations, claiming she doesn't remember sending any messages to the inmate and was under the impression the money was for cell phones, not a murder plot. It remains unclear whether she will face further charges or if her defense will stand in court. I don't think your defense can stand in court when you say things like, Am I a bad person because I chose to end his existence, not divorce? I think that sends a pretty clear message of what you intended to do. And here's a photo that I think Aaron posted, no, Victoria did, of the both of them sitting on the couch with their cat, relaxing, along with a lot of Pokemon cards in the corner here. That is a lot of Poke cards. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Actually, it is this one. Sorry, let's play this video.
The death plot, wild twist of a story we've been covering for years. A man convicted for killing his own family in Central Florida, now being connected with a death plot to kill a reality TV star. Thanks for watching. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Marlisa Goldsmith. This all unfolded when the man at the center of this started talking to a woman in Las Vegas, all from behind bars. Fox 35's Chancellor Wynn is live in Seminole County tonight. Chancellor, what'd you find out?
Well, John, Marlisa, I can tell you the two were able to talk with each other by using a cell phone that Grant Amato isn't even allowed to have because he's currently in prison serving a life sentence. Now, court documents state that Amato was texting and Facebook messaging a woman from Las Vegas, Victoria Goodwin. The two allegedly messaged about being in love, and Goodwin allegedly told Amato her husband wouldn't accept divorce. One of her messages read, quote, "Am I a bad person? Because I chose to end his existence instead of divorce." Investigators say Goodwin set aside over $11,000 to pay for her husband to be killed, and messages recovered from Amato's cell phone allegedly show him texting another man, arranging for Goodwin's husband to be killed. Now, tonight we spoke to a criminal defense attorney, Jose Rivas, who is not associated with the case, but he says Amato could actually help with the prosecution of Goodwin and in turn possibly have a shorter life sentence.
The reality is most people, when they're serving a life sentence, they have no incentive to commit not to commit any other crimes. But he could actually benefit from here if he's involved in another crime, and he could provide substantial assistance to the state of Florida and help prosecute this other individual. He could get possibly benefit from that and get a shorter life sentence or modify his life sentence.
Amato is currently serving a life sentence convicted of murdering his parents and his brother in 2019 after a dispute over his addiction to a Bulgarian woman he met online.
Yes, that sounds like a very, thing you would kill your parents and sibling for. Yeah, sounds totally normal. Yeah, this is mental.
Massive drug bust in Flagler County.
All right, Flagler County. Brutal. Never. You think when you love someone, think of the life. I'm not being mean. Don't come for me, feminists. But think of the life that Aaron gave that woman. I don't think she was some rich person before she met Aaron. Aaron's quite well off because of Ghost Adventures. It's a recurring show. They've been on it for 15 years or something. He makes a lot of money through conventions and things like that. I mean, how ungrateful. It really is. How ungrateful. How ungrateful that he brought you into his life, gave you probably everything, and then you turn around and tried to kill him. It's disgusting. She's a freaking gross woman, and she gives a lot of good ladies a very bad name because it makes people overgeneralize about women being, gold diggers or whatever. It overgeneralizes, and it's women like her that do it because they're not happy that they've got everything, and I think that's ridiculous. Aaron's very lucky he didn't get shot in the head and killed in his home. We're very lucky we're not reading a story about how Ghost Adventures is going to have one less person next season. She deserves to go to jail if proven. If proven, but in a court of law, she deserves freaking 35 years in jail. Nut crazy? She is a little nut crazy. That's right. It's gross. It really is. Aaron, Victoria Goodwin. Hopefully he forces her to get rid of that last name. Apparently he has filed for divorce from her. Thank the freaking Lord. Get rid of her. Yeah, Ghost Adventure star files for divorce after wife arrested in murder for hire plot. Good work, Aaron. They say Aaron has filed for divorce a week after the Ghost Adventure star's wife was arrested on a suspicion of murder plot with a TV personality as the intended target. They say Clark County, Nevada court records reviewed by USA Today show Aaron Goodwin, 48, filed a complaint for divorce on Wednesday. Goodwin's attorney declined to comment when reached out for more details. Good work, brother. Get rid of that woman. She is not a good one. There are a lot of good ladies out there, a lot of good ladies, but she is not one of them. She is not one of the good ladies. I hope you divorced too. All right, good. You woke up. Good. By the way, I just saw a little thing go ping ping before. Was that from you, Sean? Yes. Sean says Sean sent in a donation. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. With the court coming up in just over a month now, you know, we don't normally solicit donations on this channel, but it would help. It would help a lot. It's gonna cost a freaking fortune to do this, and I would appreciate it. But that's all I'm gonna say on it. But thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. It does help. Sean has almost funded it by himself. No, I'm just kidding. But he's contributed a lot. You know, I think if we added it all up, he might need to get some sort of, like, you know, a t-shirt. I was there at the trial. I paid for this. No, I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, Sean, that's really awful to hear that you almost got a brick to the head. It's, you know, these women, I don't get it. But not saying men don't do it too. How many men have been caught trying to kill their wife in a divorce because they don't want to give her half? So don't think I'm being sexist by singling out just this woman. Men are just as bad. Men have done the exact same thing. But this lady who we're talking about in particular is she's a complete wench. That's exactly what she is. Just, I don't know what to do with this information, except for he should be thanking his lucky stars. He should be buying a lottery ticket that the cops figured it out before he died. And he said he had no idea. He said he thought he was in a happy marriage. That to me is the saddest bit in the entire thing. The fact that he had no idea that she was unhappy in the marriage. You know, that's very sad. Very, very sad. Yeah. I'm just trying to see if there's any more So apparently, police report says on October 2nd of last year, Amato and Victoria discussed setting aside $11,515 to hire a third person whose name has been redacted to complete the job. The same day, they also discussed Aaron Goodwin's location and the make and model of his vehicle. And in a message, she wrote, "I'm so anxious, LOL, LOL." And in another message, according to the report, she said, "I just can't believe it's happening. Like, how did I get to this point? Am I a bad person?" And Amato asks why she thinks that, and she replies, "Because I chose to end his existence and not divorce." On October 3rd, the report says Amato contacted the alleged hitman and said he would call Aaron Goodwin to distract him. Later that day, Amato texted the alleged hitman and asked whether he had completed the killing. According to the report, she said, "I need to know what's going on." According to the report, it says she also texted, "Can I get an update? Was it done?" The same day, Florida correction officers obtained Amato's phone. Its contents were searched at an unspecified date, according to the report. On March 4th, the next day, the report says officers in Florida contacted authorities in Nevada, where Aaron and Victoria Goodwin live, alerted them to the alleged plot. When Victoria Goodwin was arrested and taken in for questioning 2 days later, she said that she and her husband were going through problems in their marriage, but declined wanting to kill him. No, I think you did want to kill him. How does, like, arranging for a hitman how does that somehow, oh, we're going through problems? I don't think you're going through problems. I think you're going through a hitman. I don't think that's the same thing. I think that's a very different thing. I think it's a very different problem. I don't think marriage counselor or hitman. I don't think those scales justify themselves. When they contacted her, what was she going to say? Oh, yes, I do this often. We role play. So I role play that, I'm trying to get a contract on his life. And then he pretends to be the victim. And we find it really hot in our marriage. We've been going through problems. So I'm trying to spice up the relationship. This is all just role play. No, I don't think you can do that. I don't think it's role play. I don't think you were just joking. I don't think you just transfer $11,000 for no reason. That's a lot of money. And you contacted a convicted killer. Like, he is a convicted killer, someone who killed his own family. I don't think this is like, ladies who are hot for serial killers. Like, that's a thing. It's actually got a name. Did you know that? It's got a name. If I can remember the name, I'll tell you, but it's got like some sort of Latin name where it's people attracted to people who commit violent crimes. It's actually got like a definition. That's not murder shame. Yes, that's right. We're murder shaming. We're kink shaming right now. Rachel said, doesn't sound like he knew. No, it doesn't sound like he had any clue that there was any problem in the marriage. So her saying that they've been going through problems sounds like it was a one-sided problem because he had no idea. How do you go through problems where both sides aren't aware? That's called poor communication. That's probably why your marriage is failing, because you don't communicate. Jojo said that reminded me of Dahlia saying she didn't put a hit on her husband. It was all a scripted reality show. Right. Yeah. One that he wasn't aware of. And if he wound up dead, that was the final episode. And yeah, I don't think that works. That lady is evil, and I hope Aaron finds a nice woman eventually, someone who accepts him for him and isn't there just to take his money. I hope he finds that. Everyone deserves that, whether you're male or female. Everyone deserves that. So, have I ever had Mexican cookies? What, the ones with fentanyl? No, I haven't had those. DJ says, yeah, that's it. Hybristophilia. That's it. I read about it the other day. It's not a real one, I think. I think it was coined by some scientist or therapist or something. It's a phenomenon characterized by sexual interest in and attracted to those who commit crimes. Yeah, it was on a I was on a thing reading about Koberger, and there's this very specific forum that has this as a rule. So in their rules, they say you can't be mean to people that are sexually attracted to Koberger. They're saying like you can't like call people out or make fun of them or whatever. You have to abide by their rule of no anti-hybristophilia or whatever. That's how I learnt about it. Trigger warning, Sean. Sorry, that's scary. Don't make fun of Sean. Yeah, how dare you? Sean will set his budgie on you. He will. He'll make a murder for budgie plot with you. He'll send a murderous budgie to you. It'll come in the middle of the night carrying a knife in its beak, and it'll drop it right at the right time, and no one will ever know, Jonna. No one will ever know. Joe Neal says, a selection box called a Sortido Rico? I don't know what that is. What is it? Am I going to Google something that's going to be like a giant wang on my screen? Is that what's going to happen? Or is it going to be like, I'm never going to give you up? All right, hold on. Sortido Rico. I'd never heard of this. I've never heard of whatever this is. It looks pretty good though. Actually, I have seen something like this before. Yeah, I have seen something like this, but I don't remember where I've seen it. And the reason I know that is because I've seen like the moon pie looking thing. The one with the chocolate. This thing, I've seen that before. Yeah, I can't remember. That's pretty cool. I like that. It's got like a wafer. It's got like a chocolate one, a chocolate chip cookie. It's got this one, a moon pie thing. I'd eat all this. It looks great. Yeah, I don't know if you can get them in Australia though. I don't know if we have a Mexican store here. I don't think so. I don't think so. You think Casey Anthony is hot? Uh, Great. Have fun with that. Just, I have some advice, and it's like, it goes like this. Don't stick your dick in crazy, because it's obvious why you shouldn't do that. Or if you do, use 40 condoms at the one time. That's the only way you should sleep with Casey Anthony. Oh, okay. I'll try and find them. Maybe we can do a taste testing of that on the show in the future. That would be really good. I'll try. Oh, you missed the Girl Scout cookies yesterday? Hold on. Mrs. Ping, are you having a cookie right now? No. You're not going to have one with the coffee? Maybe later? Which one was your favorite? The toast yum? The one that was like a French toast one. She really likes that one. It's got like cinnamon and it's a French toast cookie. She really liked that one. She likes the trefoils as well. For me, I really like the Samoas, the one that's like it's coconut and caramel. But the one that was the new one that we tried yesterday that was really nice was one. It was a lemon ice cookie, and the cookie literally tastes like a lemon meringue. Like it tastes like lemon meringue. It's got a very similar texture. It's really nice. I did not. I think I ate a quarter of a cookie total. Yeah, they want you to come on and talk about it. She is talking about it. Can you hear her from there? Can you hear her from there? You might have to come a little closer. I didn't get any Do-si-dos, although I do like Do-si-dos. They are nice. Florentines? I like Florentines. Yeah, they can probably hear you from there. So, you like the toast yum?
Yeah.
Any others?
The peanut butter ones are nice too.
The peanut butter patty ones? Yeah. Do you like the lemon one?
I haven't tried the lemon one yet,
You haven't tried it yet?
but it sounds good.
It is pretty good. What other ones do we have?
Got the caramel.
Yeah, the
Coconut, the other ones.
Oh, the Adventurefuls. They're all right. I wonder if they were a little hard. I wonder if you can heat them up and they would soften again, because it's supposed to be like brownie and caramel. The caramel is very good. It sort of tastes like a Oreo mixed with a Tim Tam. That's sort of what it tastes like. What other ones do we have? We didn't get any small ones, which those look really good, but unfortunately DJ said in his area they didn't have them.
There's one more that we're not talking about.
Peanut butter, lemonade, trefoil, Adventurefuls, the Samoas, French toast. I think it was 6, so it's 6. So yeah. So yeah, they're all pretty good. She likes the trefoils and the toast yum, which is supposed to be like a French toast type one.
They were good.
All right, I will. Everyone says you're their little cookie monster lovingly.
Okay.
They're asking how you're feeling today.
Yeah, I'm okay. Not the best, but I'm better than I was yesterday.
Yeah. Can you show? Oh, you can't show them your nails. I don't think you can get here without being on the camera. I have to take a photo and show them. She got like her nails done yesterday, and like she's got like a pale pink on the top, and then she got like French tips done, but it's like a hot Barbie pink on the French tip. So it looks really cool. It looks really nice. She sounds worn out. I think she is worn out. I think just a little over it, aren't you? You're like, hurry the fuck up and fix me.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's a little over it. I think she's over being prodded and poked, and they're just like, hey, we want to do this test. And she's like, I already did like 3 of these. And they're like, oh, we'll do one more. And she's like, go away. Just tell me what's wrong. Hurry up and book me for surgery. So it's been a long process, and I mean almost a year now, almost a year since she got really sick, and they still don't have a definitive plan of action.
No, I mean, yeah, they don't. They know that they're what the issue, the main issue, but they don't know to pinpoint exactly where the
Yeah.
issue is coming
So
from.
they know why she's like this, but they don't know what's fully causing it, and they don't know how to fix it. So they know what's wrong with her, but they just can't quite figure out how to, or where it's the problem, or because to do the surgery, they want to do as minimal invasive as they can. And if they can't pinpoint it, they're going to have to cut her fully open. And they want to avoid that as much as possible. They don't want to do that type of surgery unless they really have to, because it's a longer recovery. It's a lot of cut muscles and things like that. And yeah, we'd rather keyhole surgery. If we can get keyhole surgery, that'd be the preferred surgery. So. We've been testing one. Sean's gonna be like, you've been testing it for like a year. We did do something with DJ, but that was a special thing because I, being very dumb, asked for something and then went, oh shit, how the hell is he gonna send it? Yes, we do have a mailing address. We should have it up and running by the time we go to court. It'll be a few weeks away, but we have got a new mailing address. So just hold on a little bit. We have looked into that. So there's your update from her. So she has her good days, she has her bad days, and that's what it's like right now, unfortunately. We're just not getting any real solutions or any certainty of anything. It's just like they keep saying, oh, we know what it is, we know what's wrong, we just don't know quite how to fix it or what options we have or anything like that. Yeah, so I don't know if that's what they're going to do next, is an exploratory surgery. One of the surgeons said that's what they wanted to do, wasn't it? That was a private doctor, which we don't think we're going to go to, because he quoted something like $126,000 for the surgery or something crazy like that, and obviously we don't have $126,000, so we have to go through a public surgeon. Sean said, rich assortment and selection. Okay, Rico would mean cute. Well, like cute biscuit or cute selection. Maybe that's what they call women over there. Cute selection. Jonna says, I wish I knew more. I'm a doctor at heart. I sleuth medicine like you sleuth crime. Prayers and healing vibes her way. I hope she's going to be better soon. That would be good. Yeah, so give me a little bit of time. We do have a mailing address set up. We get a lot of requests for sending stuff. We have had a couple of things sent in, but the solution we used was not ideal. Yeah, it wasn't ideal. Cute guy. Okay, I'd be a cute cookie. That sounds like some sort of innuendo, like a Mexican innuendo. Maybe we could use that as some sort of like, we could use that as like one of our things on our show. Instead of pineapple, we can use that. All right, let's keep talking about true crime. I got a lot of time today. I ain't got too much to do. Oh, hold on. All right, I can talk for a while longer and then we'll have to wrap it up. By the way, did you see this? I want to show you something. Hopefully it doesn't expose all my PMs. Do I have anything juicy in here? No. Here we go. Did you guys see this? This comes from Alex Stein 99. That's his tag on Twitter. And he's got his little thing in the video too. Alex Stein 99 on Twitter. This is a Amazon driver going ballistic at a customer for ordering heavy boxes. Did you guys see this? It's bonkers.
I've been waiting on this day to tell you how much I hate this fucking house. The waters, all the shit that you order, all of the shit. I hate it. I hate this house. I hate that you order shit. You are the fucking laziest fucking house in this whole goddamn neighborhood. You're inconsiderate. You're full of shit. I fucking hate everything about y'all. I hate it. All you have to do is fucking order the store from Walmart pickup or Central pickup or whatever and go put the shit in your own truck and go do it your fucking self. You are the laziest sons of bitches ever. And then people bring this shit. We break our backs, we break our necks, we break our nails, we break everything to bring you this shit. And you're ungrateful as fuck. I hope you know that.
Yeah, they were very unimpressed. Very unimpressed Amazon driver. You know, people were joking in the comments that they should order a kitty litter, like a 50-pound kitty litter, for the next week every day. So they have to deliver one every day. And I was like, wow, you might end up with like kitty litter all over your stairs of your home. You know, what if the people are like they're in a wheelchair or they don't have a lot of walking or whatever, they have mobility issues. Sometimes things like Amazon are a lifesaver for those people because they can't go and get heavy items. Now, maybe that's not true. Maybe they just are people that love Amazon. I'm sure my Amazon people hate me because I order everything online. I rarely go to the store unless it's for like food because we don't have we do have home delivered food here, but I find that their service is just crap. It's just terrible here. So I like to go pick out my own stuff. But for everything else, all my weightlifting equipment, anything like that, all my protein powders and things like that, they all get delivered. And I'm sure my Ozpost guy, my Couriers Please guy, my Fastway guy, and my Amazon people, they all hate my guts. I'm sure they all hate me because they're always like, "Oh, this mother effer again." Just throw it at his door. He's an asshole. He orders everything, everywhere, every day. Joe says, "Nah, they're just white." Rachel said, "I say this. She just lost her job, and you don't know what the story there is. Maybe they are disabled, right? Did she lose the job? She actually got fired? I didn't see that update. She actually got fired? Hold on, let me look. Amazon. Did she get fired? I don't see that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't see. Yeah, I don't see that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon fired them. I'm pretty sure the people would send in a complaint, I'm sure. Sienna said, "I'm sorry, that Amazon employee needs to find a different job." Crates of Dr. Pepper, anything heavy. Kitty litter is so heavy. Have you ever tried to lift a 30-pound bag of kitty litter? Especially that clay type. I lift weights every day, and that thing is the mother effing heaviest thing in the world. It seems like more than like 30 pounds. Like I lift like, 80 pounds, 90 pounds, stuff like that, barbell every day. Pick up a friggin' 30-pound thing of cat litter. It feels like it weighs more than the earth. It's so heavy. I think it's like dead weight. It's all in the one place. Moonlight View says, "You're keeping them buff. It's a win-win." That's right. You're keeping them, keeping their muscle. I'd love that. Get paid to work out all day. That'd be great. Gayla says, "She will, as you can't do that. Not a good look for Amazon." Yeah, I'm sure they will fire her or put her through some sort of different route with like a supervisor who has to watch over them. I'm sure she'll probably either get fired or severely reprimanded. Retired said, "But it's job security." Right. The more deliveries, the more likely you are to keep your job. Deliveries go down, they start cutting drivers and delivery people because they don't need you. So the more people ordering is actually good for business. It's actually good for you. Joe Neal said, I'd have seen her, I'd have her see a mental health professional and put her ass in the warehouse. Maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe they'll take her off the route and stop her being a delivery driver and put her in the I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl. Sorry, I don't know why we're just assuming. Whoever it is, male, female, or octopus. I mean, maybe that's what they'll do. Sean said, hook your exercise bike up to the grid. Electric biking. Jojo says she only wants to deliver pillows. That's right. Just like 10 pillows. Yeah, pretty brutal video. I haven't seen anything like that before. I was pretty shocked. All right. Let's head to here. Yeah, so we played that 911 footage last night, and we played one from Jeff H too. I hope you all heard that last night. I'm sure you did from like 50 other people, but that was really nice of the person who gave it to me. A person unnamed was able to get me the original file from the 911 company, the full thing, not parts of it, and was able to do that on this channel. That is very cool. And then we had Jeff H, who gave you guys the audio increased one, which I was very thankful that he let us use. All right, let's head to. All right, let's head to Santa Cruz. This is very interesting, and I think this would be a good one to look at. So, police in Santa Cruz have released an image, a sketch of a prowler wanted for sexual battery and prowling. And this is from the University of California, Santa Cruz Police Department. And this is the sketch here of who they're looking for. Early 20s, light-skinned Caucasian, early 20s again for some reason. Do they really want it to hammer home that they're in their early 20s? 5'7" to 7'9" tall, slim build, shoulder-length hair, dark colored eyes, black plastic rimmed glasses, black bandana, dark clothing. Last seen College 9, John R. Lewis College on March 7, 2025. If seen, call 911. They're saying on February 20 and then again on March 7, 2025, during the mid to late afternoon, the subject above sexually battered two separate female victims, one in College 9 / John R. Lewis apartment building A1 and the other in A2. The March 7, 2025 sexual battery in apartment A1 involved physical restraint in addition to the sexual battery. In both incidents, the suspect fled on foot. Anyone with information should call the Santa Cruz Police Department at 831-459-2231 extension 1. They're saying that people can remain anonymous with giving information about who this might be. Who this might be. Yeah, it doesn't look real. Do you think it looks like an AI? Could be an AI. All right, let's play the video.
It is very worrying, especially because I am like right down the street from where it's happening.
Students at UC Santa Cruz reacting to the multiple alerts being sent out by the university, detailing several disturbing incidents on campus.
Feeling unsafe where I live. We've had multiple incidents around campus this past week, and I don't know, it's just sad, honestly.
University police were alerted last week about a peeping Tom. One incident happened in Stevenson College building and the others in John R. Lewis College building. Each time the victims reported seeing a cell phone possibly being used to videotape them while they were showering, and undergarments were also stolen. The sexual battery attack happened early Friday evening in a dorm room on campus. A man approached a student from behind and physically restrained them. The victim was able to free themselves and alert a roommate, and the suspect ran off.
I feel a lot safer being off campus knowing that like there aren't people roaming around.
This student is taking extra precautions.
I usually share my location with my friends so they know at all times whether I'm on campus, off campus, where I'm being at.
Another student wants the university police to do more to make sure students feel more safe on campus, besides just sending out alerts.
It just feels unsafe just because like they sent that out 2 hours later, and then like I don't know, a day or two later they're like, oh, he's not on campus no more. So like that's just it. Like I just kind of feel like, oh, well, I feel like more should be done. Apparently there are like other incidents going on that I didn't even know about, like just this one just because it was so close.
We don't know if these incidents are related or not, but no arrests have been made. We did reach out to campus police, but they still have yet to reach back out. Reporting in Santa Cruz, I'm Jacqueline Quinones, KSBW Action News 8.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you.
One of the weirdest stories I've heard come out of a college campus, very, very odd. A guy going and stealing, like, you know what we call that? When people steal women's underwear? It's called a snowdropper. It's called a snowdropper. I'm serious. That's what it's called. It's called snowdropping. It's got a name. It's a very old criminal terminology, but they call it snowdropping. Very popular in the older years. It's not as popular now because too many security cameras, but it used to happen quite frequently where people would steal women's underwear from washing lines or their backyard or their balcony. Used to happen a lot, but it's called snowdropping. Yeah, snowdropping can refer to both theft of clothes from clotheslines, especially women's underwear, and yeah, so that's what they call it. It's a old Australian slang for that type of crime. It's called snowdropping, and it was used in 19th century Britain and Australia to refer to people stealing clothes from apparently from poverty. So people used to pinch them because they were poor, rather than for fetish purposes. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, it's Australian slang. One who snowdrops, who steals clothing, especially women's underwear, from a clothesline or other location. It's called snowdropping. So yeah, that's what that person, that criminal is. They are a snowdropper. So probably if they're in the shower, they're probably nothing. Jojo says Russell Williams, Canadian pilot. That was his thing, remember? Yeah, the murderer? Yes. He did do that. Let me take you to the one that people mentioned. Apparently the NTSB are involved. Did you guys know about this? That multi-vehicle crash? Apparently the NTSB had to get involved. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Alvin Brown, Vice Chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board. Investigators from the NTSB arrived in Austin yesterday to begin the investigation into Thursday's fatal multi-vehicle crash on I-35. The NTSB is an independent federal agency charged by Congress with investigating every civil aviation accident in the United States and significant accidents in railroad, highway, marine, pipeline, transit, and commercial space. We also issue safety recommendations aimed at preventing future crashes. Before I continue to begin my remarks, I would like to take a minute to give my condolences to those families who've lost loved ones and to those who've been injured in the community that has been impacted by this tragic crash. I always say we know every life is important, every family matters, and this is a difficult situation, and my heart and prayers go out to everyone involved and impacted. The investigator in charge of this crash is Kenny Bragg. Mr. Bragg is a senior investigator with over 20 years of experience, and he's leading a multidisciplinary team.
It sounds good to me. I don't know why that happens. Like, it's so loud to me, I almost had to take off my headphones. But for you guys, it's very quiet. I don't get that. I don't know why that happens. Let me see if we can just find out about the crime. I was going to play the NTSB because it's very interesting. I like when the NTSB investigates. But let me see if I can find, because I didn't even hear about this. Yeah, here. Let's go to Fox 7 in Austin.
Vehicle crash site spanning more than 500 feet shut down I-35 between Palmer and Howard Lanes for hours. Krista Castro and Jesus Lozano were towards the front of the crash. They were traveling from Dallas to Mexico. The back of their car was hit. They say they have minor neck pain.
Estábamos esperando que el tráfico avanzara. We were waiting for traffic to move forward. We were in the right lane when you suddenly heard the sound. My husband looked through, saw in the rearview mirror, and there was an Amazon trailer that came through and crashed into all the cars.
Pues la verdad sí entré como en shock, no sabía.
I was honestly in shock. I didn't really know what was going on. I was able to move over, thank God nothing severe happened to us, but a few of those involved behind us unfortunately did not survive.
EMS says the call came in around 11:30 Thursday night. 5 people, including a child and an infant, were pronounced dead on scene. 11 people were taken to local hospitals, at least 4 of which have life-threatening injuries. Crews were able to transport the patients with serious injuries within 40 minutes, and at least 3 patients were pinned in their vehicles.
This incident was incredibly chaotic. This is a very large and very complex collision.
Police say 37-year-old Solomon Weldekil Araya has been arrested and charged with 5 counts of intoxication manslaughter and 2 counts of intoxication assault. Records show he was due in court next week in Wilmer in the Dallas area for going 63 miles per hour where the speed limit was 30. Crews worked through the morning to clean up the crash site.
With everything the chaos that we had here, the bystander support at the initial onset of the call were very helpful.
A statement from Amazon reads, "This is a horrible tragedy and our thoughts are with all those involved. We're looking into this further and will cooperate with law enforcement as they investigate."
Tonight.
There you go. Brutal to have so many people injured and hurt or need medical attention. That's a cool mustache. Yeah, he did have a cool mustache. The NTSB only makes travel safer. Get rid of it so billionaires can get a tax cut. I hope they don't. The NTSB do a great job. They are some of the people who figure out why things happen and how they should not ever happen again. They do a great job. Everyone at the NTSB is very specialized. They work very hard, and they are highly skilled, very highly skilled. All right. I just wanted to check in on the any more information on that death toll out of the USA. Wow, check this out. This morning, March 15, visible NOAA satellite imagery shows deep low pressure system centered in the Minnesota, Wisconsin. This system is bringing high winds, blowing snow, critical fire weather, and thunderstorms, and blowing dust across numerous states. You guys have got it all. Snow, fire, tornado, everything. Everything in one go. All in the one day, apparently. Yeah, apparently there was a dust storm in Amarillo in the Panhandle that killed people. There was another one that killed 8 people in a pileup of 50 cars. I mean, it's been a hell of a weekend for the South. Just want to see if we can check in on Mississippi and Alabama and see what else is going on before we get out of here. Now, a lot of people are going to have some very big cleanup operations, unfortunately. They're saying now at least 34 people have died across Missouri, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Mississippi as powerful storm systems sweep through the Midwest and the South. The storms have left hundreds of thousands of customers without power, injured 29 people in Arkansas, and caused fatalities linked to wildfires in Oklahoma. Nearly 9 million people are under tornado watches, including in Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. Another 82.8 million are covered by wind advisories, particularly in the middle of the country. More than 20 severe weather reports were logged by this afternoon. Severe weather threats is expected to persist into the evening, with storms moving eastward and reaching the east coast by tomorrow. So it's like coastal Carolina, all that kind of area, Virginia maybe, possibly Georgia, Florida, all those type of places, coastal. They may have some tornado risk tomorrow. They're saying another tornado touched down 40 minutes ago in Alabama as National Weather Service workers take shelter. Oh my God, it hit the National Weather Service? Yeah, it did. Oh, it was this morning. Apparently, a tornado struck the National Weather Service office in Birmingham. Wow. That's happened a few. Here's all the workers huddling in their safe room with the rest of their friends and work friends. Hope they're all okay. Well, geez. That it's even now the tornadoes are now targeting our radars. They're now targeting our radars and weather officers. The tornadoes have become aware. They are now Skynet. They have become Skynet. They say, why confirming tornadoes take time? Well, they've got to go out and they've got to look at the damage, because sometimes straight line winds can cause damage. Same with microbursts. Microbursts and straight line winds can cause damage that looks very similar to a tornado. And only by looking at the damage path can they tell, like, is this a tornado? Is this straight line winds? So straight line winds tend to blow objects in the one direction. A microburst tends to spread out in a circular pattern. A tornado tends to throw stuff everywhere, sort of like in a spiral, but it throws it everywhere. So there are different ways to look at the damage to confirm that it's actually a tornado and not some other type of severe weather. So that's why tornado confirmation takes time. They've got to go out there and actually look at it. Snap Crackle Pop says, I haven't made it past Missouri on damage. Oh, your aunt texted you? Snap Crackle Pop said there was an F3, yeah, high-end F3. That was in Cave, what was it? Cave something? Now all of a sudden I've got a, here, Cave. Yeah, Cave City. Cave City had a high-end EF3, and they've declared a state of emergency in Cave City for it. This is what it looks like out there.
County, where a state of emergency has been declared for Cave City after last night's tornado swept through parts of the city. Homes, businesses, churches were among the properties that were severely damaged, some beyond repair. Longtime residents said tornadoes are not often seen in the area, so they were shocked to experience the severity of the storm.
I heard the sirens go off. I was like, Nanny, we got to get in the hallway. Then next thing I know, we were sitting there. I was on the phone with my mom. I didn't want her to hang up. And we covered our heads right in time because that's when the tree fell on the house.
Well, according to Cave City Mayor Jonas Anderson, Cave City has established a command center to direct volunteers and those in need. It's located at Cave City Middle School. One of the areas hit.
There you go. A bit more footage out of Cave City. That'll be one of the big ones. But I heard that there was a long track tornado that happened today that was on the ground, I think, for almost 2 hours on and off. That one may end up being a high-ranked tornado too. It had absolutely devastating impact on a bunch of towns. So wait for that one to be assessed as well. Yeah, it had to be one of the names. That's right. Joe Neal says, I hope FEMA does nothing for them. Okay. I don't know who's going to do what. Hopefully the state will institute good funding and helping people. I hope so anyway. I think that's it. I don't have any more updates as of yet. We can check and see if there's been any more tornadoes come down. No, it looks like the tornado threat has calmed down. I don't 25 tornadoes, maybe one or two more have popped up in the last couple of hours, but nothing like what happened earlier today. Earlier today looked like that's when we had the long track, violent tornadoes through Mississippi and Alabama. It looks like most of that has calmed down again now. So I think tomorrow, though, if we look at the map, we go to convective outlook. This is for tomorrow. So tomorrow, it looks like most of that risk isolates and is nowhere near as bad. It's only a 5% risk throughout this pinned area here, if you can see it. So that risk comes down dramatically as it moves further east, probably away from that cyclone or low pressure system that was causing a lot of this. And I think there was a shortwave trough that moved through that was also combining to cause a lot of that, and probably moving away from a lot of the warm, moist, rich air that's coming in through the Gulf, where it won't be able to feed the storms as easily up through this region. So that risk drops to 5% for tornado tomorrow. But I'm guessing a lot of wind threat. Yeah, 15% wind threat. What about the hail? Only a 5% chance of hail. So that means they believe the storms won't have such strong updrafts in them, which means they won't be able to suspend hail in the updraft, which basically says they think they'll be low top storms. They won't be super high topped. And maybe the air won't be cold enough in the upper atmosphere to keep the hail as hail. So we'll see. I don't think they'll be as bad tomorrow, though. Jojo said, ladies, I have warned him this is an island, not to make us vote. I don't know what that means, but okay. Retired said, I think someone just wants to get a rise out of people. Maybe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been on for about 2 hours. It's very late in the morning. I'm going to get out of here for you all. Oh, John, I missed your super chat. How did I miss that? John, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I don't know where was that? It must have come through when I was on an article. Sometimes when we do an article and then the chat moves, I can't always see what's happened. I'm just scrolling back to see if you wrote a comment. I always want to make sure people get heard. Let's move back. Oh, it must have been a while ago. I'm sorry, Jonna. And it's not showing up for me. My friend, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. You guys had fun tonight. I was hoping to bring you a more fun show tonight, a bit more high energy, a bit more, I don't know, fun, less serious, and headline only, more talking to people, having some fun. Oh, did you? Thank you. I appreciate it, Jonna. Thank you very much. Yeah, we started tallying up some of the stuff for the Aaron Patterson trial. It makes your eyes water. It really does. So it really helps. I really appreciate it, because I'm going to be away from home for like 2 weeks. It's not a long time. It's like a long work trip. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, I will. But I think Sean will probably want to be the first one who gets told. But I'll sort it out. We will definitely have some sort of mailing set up by the time we go to trial. So I will. We've got a few things we have to go do. If I could stay longer, I would, but we've got to go do something. Yeah, I'm going to be in a motel for 2 weeks during the trial because I can't come home. It's too far. Where we're going for... What is going on? Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? There's like, hold on, guys. What the hell? Yeah, I can hear it. No, emergency. Yeah, I think it is because the sirens cut out just as they went through here. What the hell's going on? Or it's a false alarm. They always get false alarms there. Yeah. I don't see anything on the map, so I don't think they think it's a real fire. Sorry, we just had like fire alarms go off, and we just had we could hear the sirens coming, but we think it's for next door. They often get false alarms and the sirens go off. Like if you guys could hear it, it goes boop, boop. It's going off next door. And we heard the sirens pull up, so we're like, oh, is it us? Or hey, I love you all very, very much. Gayla, please get some sleep. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be back for Sunday Nights with Ping. We'll be back tomorrow, I promise. And hopefully no more giant tornadoes for America. Everyone can chill out and get some recovery. Is that another one? The fuck is going on? Yeah. It just stopped as well. Someone broke into the factory, do you think? Yeah. Someone might have broken into the factory. Fucking hell. All right. We got an emergency situation here. We got to go. Hey, I love you all. I got to go check out what the hell's going on. Because this is weird. We don't normally get sirens pull up. Like, we had fire, police, everything. So, yeah, I'll grab my baseball bat. I got to go find out what the fuck's going on. All right. I love you all. Bye. Thank you to Moonlight View, Gayla, Tharvi. Kathy Lynch is probably hiding from the weather. I will see you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.